Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels and the Fourth World Book Club. I am joined by Mark
Mark,
Pratt, and Sean Harklerode. I almost made you guys one person.
don't announce the speaker.
Mark Harklerode, Sean Pratt Harklerode, Sean Mark, something like that. These
We are a
people
unit.
that I know from plays in Chicago who like comics too and make me happy. Uh, Actually, I just saw a couple of I was sorting a bunch of comics for somebody and came across some what was it? Pacific Comics had
Kirby
some
stuff.
Kirby stuff. Yeah.
Destroyer Duck.
Yeah, yeah. I came across a
Yeah.
couple, and it was weird because like they were new enough that I didn't expect them to be Kirby, but I looked at the cover, I'm like, is that Jack Kirby? And it doesn't actually say on the outside, so I had to open it to go, oh, okay, yeah,
I think I think a lot of those Pacific ones were his concepts, and then they turned him over to a different writer and artist.
yeah.
Like I
No,
know
it looked like there was some of that.
Silver Star, I think that was, yet forgive me, Kirbyites, yet another one of his patriotic characters, or patriotic imagery characters. And yeah, no, like that was sort of I remember that was sort of like the last, I don't want to say gasp, but that was the last
Right.
little bit of work he did in comics before he bugged out.
Yeah, I think I saw. Well, there was Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
I
one.
think.
Yeah.
Well, no, Silver Star was there too. Um, and I think
Six
I
of
saw.
one, half dozen of the other. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think I saw both of those. Um,
like the
because the
stuff's all
covers look
interesting.
familiar. Yeah.
The stuff's all interesting, but and it's sort of like that. From what I understand of that line, that was sort of what he originally intended for the Fourth World, was he was going to start up these ideas and then turn them over to
Right.
somebody else, and then it just never happened. And why? I don't know. Is that because editorial was just unenthusiastic? Is it because Jack wouldn't let go of it? Is it because, uh,
Right.
you know, and I don't know. I can certainly say from so like at this point in our reread, in our read, my reread, I think maybe first time for you both, you guys. I can't
I think
remember.
so.
I'm very tired this morning, so I apologize. Um, uh, that we've gotten through Jimmy Olsen, which always sort of felt like a contractual obligation that sort of just fit in. He made fit in, and now these last three issues that we read, which are Forever People 10. It's all 10th issues, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. New Gods 10, Mr. Miracle 10, Forever People 10. Uh, Personally, I feel like Forever People's really running out of gas.
I mean, and it is. I mean, I think it
Yeah,
only has one or two issues left.
yeah.
Um, though, just because I started down the Pacific rabbit hole, I do need to quickly toss out. You know what else started in Pacific Comics as a backup story to Star Slayer #2?
Um, John Sable? No.
The Rocketeer.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
God, John, I had never thought about it. John Sable is like a perfect series for our pulp thing too.
We should think about that.
Yeah,
At first,
yeah. I
yeah.
love that book. Anyway, haven't read it
I
since the
like Mike
80s.
Grell. I haven't actually read Sound Sable, but I like Mike Grell. So yeah.
Anyway,
Now I'm off the Pacific bandwagon and we're on to yes, Forever People was
like I don't I
gasping.
that whole book, I was just like, okay, so this is a dead man story.
Yep. Yeah.
And
It
not
was a good Dead Man book or an okay Dead Man book.
I know this
Uh,
is an
uh, uh,
audio thing, but
Yeah.
my holding my coffee
all right.
cup.
It was a passable Dead Man book.
I y- to me, it just felt like this was when you talk about, expanded storytelling, drawing something out. I mean, nothing happened,
No.
Hmm.
right? I mean, it's Kirby, so great art. Don't get me wrong,
100%.
but it just seemed like
Oh, what do you mean? The scavengers stole the body and Dead Man had to follow it.
Well, apparently the
The
Riddler
end.
stole the
yeah,
body, which I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. What are you doing? Like, I'm question mark man. I don't know.
Well, I
right.
mean, I missed the question mark because the helmet was my thing, but I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
the end of the
this is
last one.
the secret Riddler origin story.
Well, I mean,
The,
but on top of that, like, it's not only is it a question mark, but it's like exactly the Riddler symbol question
Yeah.
mark. Like, it's not
Yeah.
even, it's bizarre. It is a
Here,
like, and it's a weird thing to fixate on. Yes, I'm sorry, dear listeners, but it's just like one of those things where I flipped that page and I totally forgotten about that, and I was like, what the hell? What is this?
well, see, I had a different fixation because the collector guy, do we have a name for him? The big bald guy
Oh,
with the hook.
it's they've given him a name. He's part of that. He's part of that. They have like a structure. It's like
Right.
there's the scavengers, and then there's the I forget, because he's got the underling who's like the
Right. The director. He's the director.
director.
Yes,
There it
yes.
is.
So the director, like, I mean, first, he's got a hook hand, but therefore he needs a, when he's on the phone, it's like on a mechanical arm that holds it up to his head so that he can give a thumbs up. Um, but then even more weird to me is that he lights a cigar and also like there's an awful lot of red end of that cigar. The way I understand it, you don't want to get that much of your cigar burning at once. Um, but he uses the hook hand
Hey man,
with a
look,
match. It's not even like a built-in lighter in the hook hand.
look, only Jack had the vision to cast Lawrence Tyranny as Blofeld.
nice,
It's
nice, good call, good call.
I
I don't know. Like the other
and
weird.
look, Jack knows more about cigars than I think we do, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
I
don't know
don't
what I
know that
think of
that's supposed to be a cigar because it's in a holder too.
yeah, but it's really thick.
It's also brown. Yeah, I don't,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
and who
cheroot.
knows,
Yeah.
possibly. But,
I don't know.
like, I think that what you're talking about here is like Jack, for whatever reason, decided to meld this in to the Dead Man storyline, where it
Right.
has to be a guy with a hook. And then, of course, it's like, well, it's not me because there's lots of guys with hooks
Right.
in I mean,
Certainly in the comic book world
I didn't kill my wife.
and the world of piracy
it
and the
wasn't me.
fugitive.
It was the one-armed man.
Right.
Um, but no, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it this book feels like even Jack is bored with the forever people,
Yeah.
you know? And I, I still don't understand half what their powers are, half of them. Uh, and
Do they understand what their powers are?
I don't know. I'm not gonna. Where's
Maybe,
the Omni-Man?
maybe I think the issue here is that he wanted to have his 60s counterculture, but
Absolutely.
he forgot the hallucinogens.
Should have brought in Ditko.
So
Ditko, everybody.
they haven't found themselves yet. They need to go on a trip.
Well, I mean, like, look, I don't know. Here's my theory. And I know we have like two more issues of this series to get through.
One,
And
only one.
well, and thank God we're finally going to get the Omni-Man back, which to me was the best idea in the series, right? I love that idea of like, it's Captain Planet, but
But
whatever.
he's called Infinity Man on the
Infinity Man.
cover. Okay.
Shit. That's right. Infinity Man. I always forget it. It's terrible. I really should know this better. But like
Well, because he only appears in two issues.
he's been gone for what, 8 issues?
When you'd think
Uh
he should have been in at least eight out of these 11 issues.
well, to me, that's like the coolest idea in this book is that there's like, and actually when you talk about counterculture and, collective power and collective, intent, like that's a really cool uh
Greater than the sum of our parts.
yeah, like that's a really a cool
But
thing
then
that you could
also
use to
having to
talk about this.
sometimes decide whether or not, even though the sum of their parts is greater, maybe they need the more specific parts and I mean, you could work in lots of strategy where it's like, do we want to be Infinity Man, or do we need what's her name that can change how people look at her?
Just beautiful dreamer.
Beautiful dreamer to like do her thing and do, I mean, we'd have to actually define some of the other powers because like
Right. Instead of Seraphin just pulling whatever he wants out of his hat, literally.
I
But
mean, that's okay. I mean, probably want some sort of limit on it, but like,
oh, no, I mean, no, I mean, like it's very Batman utility belt-ish,
right.
but it's
Well, but
also
with the power of a mother box and a boom tube, he could have a little literal Batman. I mean, they never explained how Batman fit all that shit in his utility belt. It
I
could
I
work.
who's who in the DC universe had a structural diagram of how that belt worked, and I believe every inch of it. No, I'm kidding. Uh, anyway,
I
no,
think
I just
somebody
think
worked out how much it would have weighed, and it was like hundreds of pounds.
he has trained himself to peak human conditioning. He can carry anything. Um, yeah,
The beginning of every bat
I,
fight should be him dropping the belt to improve his speed and agility.
but I don't know. Like I accept that in Batman, right? I don't know
Yeah.
why. But
No, I
like with this, it's like we're talking about these. Not we have all these multiple characters, and for me, and I'm going to say this, and then you guys can talk because I talk too much on these things. But for me, like when you have a group dynamic like this, it's really helpful for every character to have their specific thing that they do, right?
yeah.
And it feels very muddy. And I
It
kind of wonder if this isn't the first book that Jack really hoped to hand over to,
it
say, Mark Evanier or someone,
yeah. I mean, that's possible, but otherwise, if that wasn't the plan, where it was going to be a case where somebody else got to flesh out the characters more, if like I was redoing this series now, the first five issues would have to have at least half of each issue dedicated to really getting to know a character. Um, and part of updates, I mean, something that I'm shocked hasn't been done more in Legion of Superheroes is like the Mark Waid run, like the opening page would have the Legion members that were going to be involved in this issue
Right.
and their power set.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's not like Justice League, right? Because,
Right.
Justice League, you're bringing in characters that you know from someplace else, right? It's
And
not
there's
like,
generally a tighter cast.
yes. Well, and at least in this period, they were always like, okay, we're going to break into four teams,
Right.
and there'd be the four teams of two heroes that would go off and each do one thing. It
Right.
was very formulaic, but it was useful.
Hmm.
And to the point that I'm making about like everybody has their specific power set, like, you know, when at least in my mind, whenever Batman is in a Justice League situation, his value is with his intellect and
Hmm.
his problem solving skills. And that's what they focus on. It's not what he can pull out of his belt because
Right.
there's Superman or whoever,
With
and
Superman is involved, it's going to be brute strength and morals.
right.
If Green Lantern is involved, it's more ethics than morals. There's like
Although
it,
Although, at this period, I think every one of these characters could have been like there wasn't the
no, I
you
mean
know,
that those are the ones that they use when there's. I mean, I don't know this period as well, but overall, from what I've seen throughout, it's like if the question is strictly a moral one, Superman or Wonder Woman are going to be more centered on
Mhm.
making that decision. If moral compromises might need to be made because of ethics or laws, it'll wind up being Green Lantern. If it's we need to get this job done, it's Batman.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I don't know. I think it's really kind of funny this conversation we're having about Forever People. It really feels like we just read the final issue
right?
because but it like I don't know. And Sean's been very quiet. I don't know how you felt about it, but
Well, I haven't read the final issue.
well, no, I mean,
In
I'm
fact,
talking about this issue we're just
We're
talking
talking,
about.
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, the issue we're talking, I just felt like it was, I didn't, I wasn't really engaged. It started, I can't figure the timeline of how long it
right,
took to build the follower.
right,
And then it wasn't Peter Davison, following Tom Baker around.
right,
But and then
and
Nice.
everyone's gone off to get new jobs.
right.
Uh,
I mean, what frustrates me about Forever People is other than Miracle and Barda, they are the characters that in issue one I was most intrigued by.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted so much from this book, and it fell so flat that I don't even think we've had other people give us anything. I don't think that these characters have, I mean, we're 10 issues in and I can't remember the
No.
characters' names.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
if you Trey Parker and Matt Stone, uh,
The new South Park
South
was
Park fame,
epic.
uh, you know, they're one of them was speaking, and I think it's always Trey Parker who's speaking. But um, if your story has a lot of and then, it's not as exciting as if this happens, so this happens,
Right.
so this happens,
Mhm.
and I felt,
Or even the
or but,
uh
Yeah.
right. But even the improv yes and works better than and then.
Well,
right, and
yeah,
I
because like
felt
yes, and
particularly with Forever People and New Gods this month, it was all, and then this happened,
Right.
and this happened. and then this happened. I didn't get a
Well,
lot of character development. I didn't get a lot of, uh, I just was not really engaged. I mean, I do, and my my second James Bond reference, or my first James Bond reference of today's podcast, page 17. I mean, Jack had clearly recently seen You Only Live Twice, because that is Blofeld's exit from the volcano uh, in the little rail car.
yeah,
Goodbye, Mr. Bond. So,
it's true. I don't, I think that I just, I guess we're sort of shifting over towards New Gods because I think you're absolutely right. It is a lot of and then. The one thing I will say about New Gods this month was at least I was sort of like, I thought it was exciting. It was an exciting read. Like it was action, 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 right? So, and you kind of wish that the build up to this bug invasion of Earth was a little more nuanced.
yeah,
Because like if it had been like three issues building up to this, and then now okay, they're here, and now what are we going to do about it? Then I could have taken an issue that was just like a lot of punching, you know. And to Jack's credit, there is some build up. The last issue was a build up to this issue,
right.
and I think Forager is a real fun character. I still love Orion. I do think it's weird that his facial thing, his ugly face doesn't see like it seems to come and go now without much reason. Like I noticed in a couple of drawings, I'm like, well, why does he look like that now? Isn't Mother Box making him look handsome, And sometimes it was because he was under the mask or whatever, but it
Right.
still, I was sort of like, eh. Um, but yeah, no, I think that to Tad's point, I think that it is very telling that we have seen revivals of Mr. Miracle, we've seen revivals of New Gods. No one has ever tried to revive
It
Forever
does
People.
actually look like Mark DeMatteis did a six-issue series in '88
Mm,
that got retconned in Death of the New Gods.
yeah.
Um, and in Death of the New Gods, the group are killed by Infinity Man. Um,
He's like, you kept me out of the book for a whole year.
right. So, they do appear in the new 52 series Infinity Man and the Forever People.
Well, that's more than I knew about it. I mean, like,
I'm literally just reading this
Yeah.
on Wikipedia now, and it's way more than I knew about it too.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, and look, I think that I don't know. I think I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad we have one issue left. I'm glad that they're bringing back the Infinity Man for the last issue. I look forward to reading it. Just thumbing into the first couple of pages, I'm like, well, at least this seems to actually be re-engaging with this Fourth World saga thing, finally, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like
oh,
to me, yeah.
there is also the Unpeople in A- Amalgam Comics one
Oh
shot
yeah, yeah,
Challengers
yeah.
of the Fantastic was the Forever People and the Inhumans put together. But yeah,
Uh,
there's
I'm really tired of
really not
amalgam
much.
stuff. Anyway,
Yeah, there is a super young team from 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 Grant Morrison, and it looks like 52 number 6, or like the
well,
fifth world version.
I could tell you right now, if they announced like a Grant Morrison written Forever People revival, I'd be like, okay,
Oh,
this
I'd be all
seems
over it.
it'd be all over it.
Yeah. Well, for that matter, I need to go find the DeMatteis because I could see Mark DeMatteis doing cool
I
things
think
with
I
Forever
think
People.
DeMatteis actually did New Gods run too.
Yeah,
And I think he did a Mr. Miracle at one point or another.
I believe that.
Yeah, Jim DeMatteis.
Yeah.
JM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not
He,
yeah, Mark DeMatteis. I'm sorry. When I hear DeMatteis, I think Jim.
well, I think we're talking about the same person. JM is often
J.
Mark to his friends,
Oh,
I
really?
think.
That I did not
Yeah.
know.
Well,
I
I'm
hear
not
him
his
called
friend,
Mark a lot.
Tad.
No,
Thanks
I
for
know, but
name dropping.
every time, almost every, I'm not either, but almost every time I hear him in an interview,
Yeah.
the person talking to him refers to him as Mark.
Yeah.
And the handful of people I know who are friends of his always refer to him as Mark. So I could be wrong, but
Seems like a nice guy. We were at a
yeah,
panel
Yeah.
for him. But anyway,
Oh, I'm a big fan.
well,
I mean, I
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
am too.
I mean,
Like if all he had ever written was the Justice League International and stop making fun. Justice League International and Craven's Last Hunt. I mean, like
right.
that's a legacy right there.
Yeah,
And I
no,
know he was
he's
working with Geffen, but you know. Um, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Like I feel like we've talked a lot about a book that really wasn't all
no,
that
I'm
memorable.
totally ready to move on. Sorry.
No, no, it's
I
okay.
thought we'd kind of already segued into
Yeah, New Gods.
New Gods, which I agree it was action packed, but like I mean I'm probably going to be in the minority here, but I feel like uh, the unifying factor of this month's books is that ultimately not a lot happened. It was beautiful and there was action, but not a lot of
Well,
why.
Yes.
I gotta imagine like because like we only have like I think both Forever People and New Gods end with 11, right?
I know Forever People does. I forget if New Gods makes it to 11 or 12. Let me check.
I think it ends because then there's Hunger Dogs that's in here, but
Yeah.
that's we should save that to the end because that's
Oh yeah.
the return from there may be flipping forward here. Um,
Oh no, New Gods. Well, okay. Let me
because he
rephrase.
came back.
New Gods goes to 11, and then 5 years later, Conway picks up with 12.
Yeah, but that's not in this. That's not in our
Right,
purview. Because after that,
right.
Then we go to the
So
10
yeah,
years later.
New Gods is
yeah,
right.
to the Hunger Dogs. No, wait. There's a
Jack
10.
Kirby.
Yeah, because they wait. There's the 10 years later, which is an issue. Okay, so if let me see if I can remember all of this. So they canceled the book at 11. Then um, continues with Mr. Miracle for a while. Then that gets canceled. Then he leaves DC, goes back to Marvel, and then after his Marvel contract is up, Jeanette Kahn is like, "These books are great. Let's bring him back to do another. Like, we're going to reprint all of them, and then we're going to have Jack do another issue to try to wrap it up." And that's the 10 that's the book that I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was the Hunger Dogs graphic novel that was supposed
Right.
to really wrap it up. Even even Gods Must Die is the story that he wrote for the reprint series.
Right.
So, at least for our reading order, I feel like after next month, we should just do Mr. Miracle, then come back and look at that other stuff.
Right. I think that is our official reading order. Let me check.
Yeah. I make I make no promises that I know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean,
But
you just came up with the reading order to begin with. You didn't
This
pay
one
attention
goes
after
to
that.
11.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
it's
January
one louder.
is all 11. February is Mr. Miracle 12 to 15. Um, March is Mr. Miracle 16 to 18 and the second story of the New Gods reprint series number 6.
Yeah.
And then Hunger Dogs is April, and we will have
We will
wrapped
have
up.
completed the
Right.
Kirby. Anyway, but I mean, like it the New Gods this month didn't bother me the way Forever People did, and I shouldn't even say
Well, because at
bothered.
least I knew the characters.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean
like
that
yeah,
like I mean, Forever People I don't think would have bothered me if it had been character building. There was some
Mhm.
character building without any plot moving forward in New Gods because you
Mhm.
have like no character development so far in Forever People. There was I did though
Well,
read that the reason Dead Man was in it was an editorial decision and they actually wanted Dead
okay.
Man to be put into Forever People instead. Um
I just you
You
froze
you
and
yeah, you froze there, Tad. You
oh
had said it was
I
an editorial decision, and then we.
he was supposed to put him in New Gods, but he didn't want to put him in New Gods, so he slipped him into Forever People instead. But Infantino wanted the Kirby touch on Dead Man to try to juice him.
I mean,
So
I don't. Okay, here's like, and this is going back, but like the Kirby touch was giving Dead Man a new follower body. Like, isn't that sort of like isn't the whole Dead Man thing that he can possess various
I
people
mean,
and
as
like
it
isn't that his
turned
power
out,
set?
Kirby coming to DC really didn't pay huge dividends for another decade or so.
Oh no. No, no, no. Yeah, no. And I mean like this and I think we should do a wrap up where, like at the end of all of this of like what the actual legacy of all this is. Because like I
Yeah.
think that there is this weird like I think I think a lot of times your fervent this is something for later, so I'll just stop talking because I have like all sorts of like thoughts about it.
Well,
But
at least finish the sentence.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
Your
just think
fervent
that a
what?
lot of people think that Kirby was hamstrung or that they, like every time Kirby goes someplace and it doesn't work out the way they think it should, that it's somebody is screwing Jack. And it's like maybe, maybe not, but I mean, it's also like I think eh, and this is probably a conversation for next month too, but I mean, I don't think that Forever People was ever a really good idea for a book. I think that almost what they should have done, what Jack should have done, and I think would have been better, is to have a New Gods book that would be about High Father and shit happening on New Genesis. And you could do all those stories about like the history and then have Orion on Earth waging this war to protect Earth, and then Mr. Miracle, and then that would have been your triptych books to really. I think that because I think that every time a New Gods book has gone back and told like a High Father story, we've all loved it.
Yeah.
And
And I think that is absolutely the uh biggest legacy of Kirby at
DC and Tad has
DC
frozen.
is that
Yeah.
he laid found am I frozen again? He laid foundations for things that um still resonate, you
Oh, a
know.
hundred
Oh,
percent.
absolutely.
Like Darkseid is one of the greatest villains ever,
Right.
100%. I mean, like, and we can have that whole conversation. Is Thanos a ripoff of Darkseid? Is, whatever. But um but like this sweeping mythology as a large scale idea has been fantastic.
Right.
I just think that, and maybe it was because the sales weren't what DC wanted. They wanted Marvel sales or whatever that was, and it just didn't get there. But I don't know. I think that to go back to this actual book, I mean, like, I think I actually kind of like Mantis as a villain. I like the idea
Yep.
that he's a bug or is pretending to be a bug, but I mean, like, the name, it almost seems like a retcon, sort of like, oh, I came up with this character named Mantis, and now I have these bugs. Shouldn't Mantis be one of them? And I'm like, oh, that's a perfectly valid idea. Um, I I think I think I would have been happier with, I've always liked Forager as a character. Uh, the Cosmic Odyssey book that they did in the
Darkman?
80s. What?
Who did that?
It was
I remember reading that.
yeah, it was I want to say it was Dematis. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was
Oh, Jim Starlin.
Yeah, it's Jim Starlin and oh my God, brain
Mike
freeze.
Mignola.
Yeah, Mignola. And I love that book. I have a very big soft spot, and Forager was one of the characters that they brought in, and I was really taken with him. But I think as I was reading this book, I was like, isn't this one too many child raised by, you know, like, how many kids were they handing around to different, like,
A lot.
I always wish Forager was just one of the bugs.
Right.
And then actually that would make Orion's uh let's just call it what it is, racism, uh that much more immediate. His disdain for the bugs. That was my thoughts.
And he does he does refer to them as Eternals, portending the future here.
What a movie that
Forager
Yes.
refers to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ryan.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a bouillabaisse of thematic and terminology in these books. But uh anyway, that was like, but as a whole, I enjoyed this New Gods issue just because it sort of just went slam bang. It's going to be a big battle issue, and we had a big battle, and that was the end of it. And they drove by Mantis. I will say this splash page on 16 is pretty fucking incredible.
Oh yeah. I mean that's um it's not, I don't think, the cover to this, but it is very uh reminiscent of the dust cover on my omnibus. But I think it's Dark Side that he's punching. But
Hmm. I don't know. I like that. One of the things I really love about that splash page is that he gets a splash page, but then he also kind of gets two panels out of it.
Yeah.
Because he's got the rubble. Uh, but yeah, and I don't know. I think that there are a couple of like wacky Kirby art moments. The drawing of Lincoln on the private detective on the bottom of page 14 on the right, like his face seems a little wonky, you know. But I mean, this is all, that's Kirby. It's not about anatomy, it's about energy. So,
Yeah. Um,
um, I find it charming, actually. So
yeah, no, to me, I mean, it's what we're looking for when you're reading a Kirby book. Those
that's,
sometimes familiar faces, they're blocky, you
yeah,
know, the hands.
yeah.
Uh,
I've broken my wrist. No.
I found it interesting and I really liked it because it gets to what I think Jack was really going for with this series on page 17, where he refers to Light Ray, the planner, has
Hmm.
defined. So, you know, that's a clear reference to Odysseus, right?
Right,
Right. Odysseus was the planner.
right.
Um, and I mean, he's creating this new mythology. Uh, and maybe it doesn't, to Tad's point, maybe it doesn't take off in that moment, but he lays a foundation for
Hmm.
that mythology to take root
Hmm.
later. Um,
100%.
but I think that's a clue to what he really had planned for these characters had he been able to continue.
Yes. I mean, like, and I think, yeah, I don't know. I think one of the things that I continually think about is, he talked about how he wanted to hand him off to other teams to work on, like, who did he have in mind, you know? Um, I would hazard to guess that he would probably have handed one book off to Mark Evanier and Steve
German.
Skates. Yeah.
Yeah.
But his two assistants, can't remember.
German,
Um,
right?
Sherman, yes, yes, that's it. Sorry. Apologies to Mark Evanier if you're listening. Um, but no, I think to your guys' point, it is true. Nothing really happens, really. Um, Overarching narrative wise. But I thought it was a fun little book. That's my opinion.
Yeah. And Mr. Miracle, I had similar opinions. It sets up the interesting could, because it's pairing them with the PR guy.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I think that also, I mean, like, and this is something we should talk about.
Are we moving
That,
on to Mr. Miracle?
yeah. Um, I think that a part of this issue feels like it's setting, like, I have to assume that Jack knew that Forever People and New Gods were ending, right? And that he got sort of the marching orders, as I understand, were just make Mr. Miracle a superhero book. And I feel like he's setting those. He's like, okay, I need to change this up a little bit. So, like, I think that's bringing in the original Mr. Miracle's son as his publicist. It gives them a chance to, like, they can move around the country. They can do like, it's the stuff that we're going to see in the next several issues,
right.
um, before he comes back and for the first time tries to wrap all this up. Um, uh, but again, I didn't think I don't know. I mean, I think the story in itself was fairly forgettable. I mean, I'm like thumbing through it right here, and I'm like, okay,
They, they come back to Earth and they land in the X latitude, uh,
hmm
which again appears to me, getting back to my promised second Bond reference. I think we have another Blofeld, another Spectre, uh, you know, here, uh, because what he accuses them of being the you all nation agents. Does that mean the United Nations? What is that? Um, but then, I mean, I do like the head, who's literally just head. Uh,
right.
and this takes place before the movie Moonraker, but basically he's Hugo Drax here. He's
Yeah.
going to terrorize the planet with orbiting, satellites filled with plague,
hmm
which, I don't know if the screenwriters, they certainly didn't, you know, base the movie on the book. So I don't know if they
Well,
based that portion
I
on this.
I think we all know that they based Moonraker on The Spy That Loved Me.
Well,
Instead of being underwater, it'll be in space.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know.
I feel like
I am
the movie Goldfinger is more based on the book Moonraker, but we won't
mhm.
get into into all that.
I do love seeing more of the female Furies. Um, I really love that. I love seeing Barda in charge.
Yeah,
I you know we had this we talked about this last month, but man, I do kind of wish that we got to see more of Scott's process when he makes these escapes. It would make it like that's such an element of drama that's just not even there, you know?
right. I have you in my clutches, Mr. Free, but I'm going to create an elaborate trap for you, just to see
Right.
what you can do. Right? The head sees in his mind that he's an escape artist. Which, if I see in your mind that you're an escape artist, why would I want to then
Give you
put
something to
you
escape from?
into an escape trick? Uh,
I don't know. I think that yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's part of the formula,
Of
for the movie.
course.
But it did strike me as like I
But
see in his mind he's an escape artist. I'm just curious.
well, I mean, it is part of the formula, but I mean that's sort of the point I'm saying is like I wish that formula was a little more like the formula was a little more like, okay, here's Scott inside of this sarcophagus.
Yeah.
And, and he can even use his little pieces of equipment and stuff, but it's like, okay, I'm going to use this laser that I've secreted in my fingertip to cut through these bonds, and then, you know, it's sort of like there was that one issue where he was in the deadly car wash or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was just like, you
Dr.
know,
Wunderbar.
Dr. Wunderbar and and it turned out he just had laser shoes that cut through the floor. And I'm like, well, that's okay. That seems kind of easy. So I don't know. I mean, and maybe I, I don't know. I don't know anything about a escape art. Like the most awesome thing. We talk about that whole idea that he was looking to ship these over to other artists. And could you imagine like Steranko taking over this book? Like that would have
That
been
could be interesting.
that would have been amazing because like I think he could probably tell, he could make those escapes like visceral and have some knowledge of how you would actually do it. Like obviously a magician doesn't reveal their tricks, but it would have been like I think and also it's Jim Steranko. He would want to show the physical skill and power that is necessary to do these things. Um, I mean, I think that I love these characters so much. I love Scott. I love Barda. I love the concept. It is, it's just, I think that sometimes this whole gimmick of the escape artist thing seems kind of thrown out or just there rather than something that feels intrinsic to the storytelling. And maybe we're just saying the same things over and over again. I don't know. But anyway,
No, I think that that's valid. I mean, yes, we've said it before, but we've also not said it, if that makes sense.
we
He
can
goes
say
back and
here,
forth.
we can sit here, we can talk or not talk. And
No, but what I mean is like particularly with Mr. Miracle, there have been issues where he's done wonderful things that were very intrinsic to the storytelling and
Mhm.
issues where he didn't succeed as much at that. Um, so
I will
there's
say,
But I,
I know we're
value in
trying to.
calling out the difference.
yeah. Go ahead, Mark, and then I.
No, I will say to Sean's point about the Bond thing. Um, um, I think this Mike McCracken got to be a Bond
Bill's brother.
pastiche. Nice. But I mean, like, didn't you like when he came in, I was like, oh, here's James Bond.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, uh, like right down to the like flirting with pretty females is only natural for the male. But yeah, I mean, and I know we're trying to keep it to a tight hour today, but I liked Mike McCracken. I thought that was an interesting Mike McCracken.
Yeah. I don't know that he's ever. I don't recall him showing up again, but I enjoyed
DC,
that.
call me. I will do a Mike McCracken series for you that will kick butt.
But I think to me, this issue, again, to I agree with Tad. However, just the characterizations made this a much easier, faster read, enjoyable read because I really care about these characters. And I was happy to see
100%.
Oberon at the end and, yeah,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like and I said that that's part of like bringing like that, and that's the thing is like you brought in all those female Furies, and it's exactly what I don't think happened in Forever People. Like I don't know a lot about those characters, but their power sets are always clear. Their visuals are very distinctive, and they have a personality that's tied to both of those things. Like it's not particularly deep. Like Stampa, I couldn't tell you what her deep fears are or anything like that, but I can tell you who Stampa is, you know,
Right.
as a character in this drama. And I think that seeing Barta interact with those characters was fun. And seeing, I always kind of like it when Scott seems like he's just sort of like kind of on the outside of you know, because in a lot of ways this feels like a Barta story more than anything, to me, that and Mike McCracken,
Yeah.
all nations agent. Anyway, so I guess that's about an hour. We should probably wrap up.
It
Cat has to go
does.
to a birthday party, but
Yeah, yeah, for a nice 1-year-old. So like
Oh,
that's
those are always
exciting.
fun. The
But
1-year-old birthday parties are fun. Yeah, no, I'm is it wrong to say I'm looking forward to wrapping up and looking at as a whole? It is
I
wrong to
think
say
that
that. You're shaking your head, yes.
I think no, it's not wrong to say it. I think that you know I I reiterate the story. Like this is part of the deal. Is like I think that these books are so important to Kirby's career development, right? Um, that they're important to look at. But I also think that, I think that in a lot of ways, these books lay bare uh, Kirby's weaknesses. And I think that they do become kind of a slog. And I know that that's not like, this was all my idea to do this. And I hate to say it, but I mean, like there does get to be this point where you're just like, come on, Jack.
I cannot emphasize enough that I think it's been worth doing.
Hmm.
And I don't want to truncate anything. I think it's worth doing and worth doing the way that we've done this. But I think the way that we've done this also emphasizes what you were saying earlier about people who want to insist that, oh, it was just editorial interference, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I can buy that.
yeah.
No, I mean, I mean, and I've said this in prior episodes, like what were the other books on the shelves? Like you had like the Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil books
Right.
and the like this seems I can only imagine that in 1972 or 73 or wherever we're at right now, this kind of felt like your grandfather's comics, and it's like I can see, certainly there was a lot of talk about if there had been a direct market, these would have been massive hits. And it's like, okay, but there wasn't,
I
right? It
honestly think that if there was a direct market, some of these would have died sooner.
quite possibly.
And,
I mean,
and or somebody would have been able to walk in with numbers and say, Jack, if you want this to keep working, we need to get the numbers up. And this is what I think you should do. I told you that we'd have editorial, but this is my advice, and it's not like he didn't have people around him that like, I mean, Mark Evanier comes up a lot. Mark Evanier is a solid writer. If he just handed over even just dialogue duties to Mark Evanier, they could have changed these books.
I look, man,
It,
you're preaching to the choir on that subject. I think that Jack, my God. Like there's people who could listen to this and then they want to burn me at the stake. But Jack had a 10 ear for dialogue. He really did. Even when even when he would write stuff and he would write stuff into the margins of those Marvel books that then Stan would take and it would be essentially kind of the same line, but he would massage it into something better. I mean, and that was later in the run, so whatever. But but like there there is weird shit that happens in all of the dialogue here that I still don't understand. Like the weird quotation marks around certain words that are like,
Right.
what is that? What does that have to do with like that they're it's like a I wish I could find an example, but I'm like, why is there a question? Why are there quotation marks? I don't understand that. And it just is like, uh, yeah. But y- yeah, and I have to, and when I talk about that overnight flight, this is what I'm talking about. By the time I got to this point, I was just like, what am I reading? What
Well, it feels to me like it's a golden age comic without the energy of a golden age comic,
hmm
right? There's little characterization, but it's telling a story, which you know me, I like to get a comic book that tells a story
hmm
uh, in one issue, uh, but it doesn't have, I think, the energy that the Golden Age had. I mean, Golden Age stories were typically three stories in a book, right?
right.
Well,
So
but I
they
also
had
don't
to
feel
move.
like it consistently tells a story in one issue. It's not only that it doesn't manage to have continuity, I think that there are a lot of times where it's all middle, or if you've got a beginning and an end, but the middle's really muddy, or you know,
Well, and I
um,
think to what Sean just said, like it's Kirby artwork, okay?
yeah,
That's got all the energy in the world, but it's coming up against the storytelling, and Jack is an incredible storyteller visually, but the dialogue and the actual plot feels like it's out of gas, but the art keeps telling you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it gets to be kind of exhausting because you're just like, okay, why am I not more excited about this? Right. And the thing is like, if we take, like, I feel like Kamandi maintains that energy. Hell, I think the demon maintains that energy a lot more on a more regular basis. I feel like this was so personal and so uh it meant so much to him that I think it just like he's trying to throw the kitchen sink into it, and the contractor's going like, I have four kitchen sinks. I don't need any more. Right?
right, yeah,
So come back
and
next week when
also,
we tell you.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, again, like, yeah, I mean,
I
there's
will
so
say,
much that this could be.
yeah.
And
Well,
so
and
much that's hiding in it, and you know yeah, it's not, I don't want to, I never want to call it bad because it's not. It's just, I like, there are hints of him trying to work through his both his professional demons and his war demons. There are hints of him having something big to say, but
his religious views, I mean, like all of
right.
these things are
I
there.
almost feel that, like, not only by trying to do it all at once, but by trying to do it all at once so fast, he robbed himself of doing
But
something truly epic.
yeah, I mean, and it's like I said, like I think that a different structure to the books would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Like a New
I mean,
Gods
can you?
book that was all that mythological stuff,
Mhm.
the Orion stuff that's about like, okay, here's the war on Earth, and then Mr.
Right.
Miracle that's about you could actually do more of the lineage stuff, right?
Right.
And I think
But I mean, even without like deciding what to do for him, like I wonder how different it could have been with like an inker that he truly trusted, a script partner and an editor that he trusted that was more of a sounding board than a I'm going to change anything,
Hmm.
and done over 5 to 10 years rather than
Yeah.
one. Because
No,
that's the
I
part that
think
we don't
that
talk about enough is when you think of this as all done in one year, it's amazing.
yeah,
But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's why soap operas have trouble being amazing all the time. When you're recording 250 episodes a year, I'm certain that if you combed through all of The Young and the Restless, you would find some of the greatest writing in American history for like 5 episodes here and 3 episodes there. But to
But that's
maintain that level at that
but
rate,
that's why they have a team of writers,
right?
right? And I think that, that's yeah. I mean, and like, look, we still have a ways to go on this.
Right.
But so I don't want to blow our wad of like
No, no,
this
this
is
is
our
more
wrap
stuff
up.
for next month. Yeah.
It's just I think like I don't want anybody to think that I'm dismissing these books because I'm
No.
not. And I certainly am not dismissing Jack Kirby because Jack
Oh God,
Kirby
no.
was a stone genius. The thing is like as with so many people who are genius, man, you need somebody to come in and be like, okay, let's trim this off and let's trim that off. Like
Well,
I
and
think
being genius doesn't stop you from being human.
right. Well, and I also 100% feel like you're right. I mean, like he had he had Steve Sherman and Mark Evanier sitting there with him doing his assistants. Man, like Evanier's a solid writer. You could have put them on, you could have like I like at least let them write the Forever People,
I mean,
let them
like, one of the things I will toss out is who knows if he used them and they were too starstruck.
possible.
If I'm gonna like want to make certain that I give all credit, they were young. That'd be a question we'd have to ask Avenir or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it out as, oh, he just completely dropped the ball. He had
Well, there is like one or two issues where it says like concepts from Mark Evanier and Steve Sherman.
right, right.
I mean, so like Jack wasn't so wrapped up in himself to not credit people who give him ideas. I don't look, I still think that there's a lot of this whole thing that happened, right?
Right.
That was these books were coming out right about the same time that Jack moved out to California and
Hmm.
that Jack was started going to San Diego for Comic-Con and meeting all of these kids who thought he was a god, right?
Yep.
And I think
Well,
that
and he was already feeling
yeah,
burned from Marvel, and he was setting up a new house, and his kids were
but I
hitting
mean, I
teenage
just think
years,
I think
and
it's sort of it's like I call it the Roddenberry effect. It was the Roddenberry after Trek was canceled, and then he started going to these conventions where you have this room full of fans telling you that you are the great bird of the galaxy and that you are a
right.
visionary who knows the future and blah 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 blah. And it's really hard to not start thinking of yourself in that way when all these people are telling
Yeah,
you that, right?
yeah, yeah.
And the thing is like to the point where I saw it was a really interesting thing recently where somebody had written into something and they're like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan and I don't know how to continue when I look outside the world, outside the window, because this isn't the world that Roddenberry promised us. And I'm like,
Roddenberry didn't promise you a world.
Roddenberry
He's
was
a
just a guy
fiction
who wrote a
writer.
fucking TV
That's
show, and he
the
didn't.
he proposed a world, and yes, it seems like people have chosen otherwise. Though one might point out that we haven't hit the World War III that happened in his world
Yeah, yeah.
yet.
Well, yeah. And I hope we don't. But that's a
I kind
different
of do
story
too.
altogether. But I mean, like, that's a different story altogether. But I mean, it's sort of like it does lead into this path where, and this is a whole different can of worms to open. But I mean, like, that I do like. I think that I think that this online world and this terminally online world has kind of taken something that has always been there in fandom, which is this sort of like uh, tenuous grip on reality, and made it
Dialed it to 11
dialed it to 11. And I think that there
because
are,
it's
and
because
we
it's one more.
because it's one more, it's one louder. See, if you need to get over
It's
that
one
hump,
more.
we just turn
Right.
it up to 11. Anyway,
Right.
but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that our terminally online world has taken everything and dialed it up to 11.
Yeah.
But I think that it's also like I encounter people all the time on like even like like on Blue Sky or Threads or wherever who seem to have a problem grasping the reality of, like Sean and my friend Tim Seeley, has been getting left Twitter because of death threats
Right.
over how he wrote
Right.
Ilyana Rasputin in this
Right.
miniseries. And it's like it's a it's a fictional character.
Right.
It's a fictional character. No one was
Right.
really hurt. Anyway,
Right.
I can that sorry, rant over.
Yeah.
You need to
No.
go to your birthday party.
No. No. There's a lot to be mined in our next couple uh episodes of the Fourth World Fan Club, and for that matter, comes up in our other, or not Fourth World Fan Club, Fourth World Book Club. It comes up in the Pope Blotter Book Club as well because we're looking at a lot of the same type of fandoms and same type of taking. I mean, what superheroes ultimately are is just another genre of fiction where you're taking something that's very comfortable to a set of
Sure.
readers and trying to eat a deeper meaning into it at
Well,
its
yeah, it's
best.
like again, I know we're trying to wrap up, but I mean, it's like that
Right,
article that I shared on Facebook recently where it was about the guy had written that there's not enough civilian characters in comics anymore. Like every
right,
time there's a new character, it has to be somebody with superpowers. Or if there's
right,
a supporting character that's been there for 10 years, let's give them superpowers. And it's like,
right,
and it's because like everybody wants like this idea of just being that there's a value in just being a normal person, you know, not to like it's one of those things when I get people who are so angry about Finn in the Star Wars movies not being a Jedi, and I'm like, yeah, he's still a hero.
right.
Like
This is
the coolest character in all of Star Wars is Han Solo. He's not a Jedi, you know.
right. I have pitched this before, and this is another place where I'm gonna do it. Um, the more of this I read, the more I think its spiritual sequel is Alan Moore's ABC Comics, with the difference being that Moore was a writer that likes to have a lot of control, who doesn't do his own art. And, you can write 5 books in a month, much easier than you can draw 5 books in a month. Um, and I wonder how much just that difference wound up being, and the fact that I don't think Moore tried as hard to tie them all together. He just made them different genre books, but they have a very similar feel.
Sure, 100%.
Um, so that
Anyway,
might be that might be what we flowed into from Fourth World to ABC. Just an idea.
I
I
mean,
would
like
actually even love to do it similarly, where we read them in the order they came out across the line, rather than one series. So
I
anyway,
I I could be interested in that. Anyway, go to your birthday party.
I would say that next month's
uh,
episode
for
goes
Mark
to
Pratt,
11.
Sean Harklerode, do either of you have anything to plug right now?
And then it stops.
And do either of you have anything to plug right now?
Uh, I mean, we're both artistic associates at the City Lit Theater, and they're opening their
Okay.
Christmas show, which is Sherlock Holmes and the Christmas Clowns. Neither Sean or I are involved with it, but we're
Okay.
going to the opening performance this afternoon. So
Okay.
uh,
Well, you have to tell me what you think, because I love Sherlock Holmes, but I
it's an
go
hour
back and
long.
forth on
So
non Doyle. Sometimes it's
oh,
done really well, and sometimes it's not.
G.K. Chesterton. It's based.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that could work. I'll have to.
I'm gonna say you need to wrap up because
Yes.
I could go on and on about that too. So you
Well,
should wrap up. We'll
another
catch it
time.
up
So
later
many
another
things to
time.
talk about. Uh, for 22 panels, this has been the Fourth World Book Club. We will see you after the next page.